Lights, it's North here, coming at you again with a Life is Full of Phantoms fan video, and I am pumped. Okay, so I'm just gonna point out, I probably should have done this before Season 3's pilot was released, but I was lazy, so we're doing it now. So these are my predictions for Season 3, and I just gotta point out this isn't really a full-fledged theory, it's more just a bunch of small predictions, but I think it's still pretty interesting and I am sort of deciphering things, so here we go. Now first I have a few predictions about the finale. Now I think it's practically a given that Ellipsity will take the throne and he will change some things as king. I think he will do two very important things as king, one of those things being he will release Holman's amulet to the world. Now there is a lot of evidence to support this. The biggest piece of evidence is at the end of Season 2 when Ellipsity says everything Holman's amulet can do. Now what's the evidence here? Well, he doesn't just say what it can do. He also says that it would solve so many problems existent in the Phantom world today. He specifically says that it would really help the Phantom world. Now, my second piece of evidence is more how he'll do so. We already know for a fact that Holman's laboratory will be used in Season 3, so that means one of the main characters will probably get a hold of Holman's amulet and eventually deliver it to E, meaning that he can mass produce them. Now, my last piece of evidence is kind of extra, but here it is. It's simply that I can't see another ending to the series. Like, a series can't end with 4 kingdoms continuing to suffer. Like, it has to end on somewhat of a good note. Now, we've seen some character deaths, so it's possible that Life is Full of Phantoms will end bittersweet, but it won't end with an entire kingdom, well, actually 4 entire kingdoms, continuing to suffer. And that amulet is one of the only things we've seen that has the power to repair that damage. Now, the other thing I think Ellipsity will do as king is kind of a given. I think he will make it legal for Phasmaferas and Imagoums to live in Phasmia. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're allowed to live there right now. If they are, I'm gonna look really stupid. I mean, I just can't imagine the season ending with Imagoums still having nowhere else to go but Imagua. Like, even if they make Imagua a good place, they still deserve to have another place where they can be with their family. I'd also like to point some things out about the Season 3 trailer, which I just love. Now, one thing that I found really interesting about this is that it seems to reflect E's pain. What is weighing this character down? What is making it harder for him to go on? Now, the trailer seems to be his mind replaying all of the memories that cause him pain and make things harder for him. I mean, aside from the last one, which is really just a thought rather than a memory, but still. Now, how do I know this represents Ellipsity's pain? Well, largely because of the echo effect, which seems to be saying that it's in someone's mind, and by default, that would be Ellipsity's mind. But there are other pieces of evidence. Look at the lines that Irene and Fracto say. They seem to be reflecting E's exact fears and insecurities. In an earlier episode of Season 2, Ellipsity tells Scarletta that he can't be king, that he can't handle that responsibility. He doesn't want people to think that he's trying to live up to the image of his father, which he'll never be. And he's scared that if he slips up, Phasmia will go down with him. This is so parallel to what Fracto and Irene say. Irene is saying that all of Phasmia trusted him, which reflects his exact fears when he says that if he slips up, Phasmia will go down with him. It's so perfect. And then Fracto says, not everything's about you, E. You're a disgrace to the Fiery Turtles. All this stuff, which is exactly what E was worried about. He was worried that people would think that he was trying to live up to the image of Foci and that he was just a wannabe, that he was a disgrace to the Fiery Turtle legacy, and that not everything was about him, that he was trying to be someone he wasn't, that he wasn't good enough. I swear, this is so perfect. This fits so well. And then there's Billy's line, which I guess just means that he's depressed that he can't be with Ellipsity because, you know, like, Ellipsity's a criminal and he's on Imagua. I don't really know how I'm supposed to elaborate on that. Like, it's pretty clear. So that wraps up my Phasmia predictions, but what about my Imagua predictions? I don't have that many big ones since, I mean, I don't really know a lot about what's gonna happen, but I will say this. Since both Billy and Mila are headed to Imagua, I think they're actually gonna team up to save Milo. Like, Billy knows who Milo is. I mean, unless Billy gets brainwashed once he gets to Imagua, which, considering he was hit with a lightning bolt, is not too impossible, but I do think Billy is a bit too smart to be brainwashed. But my one major prediction would be, unfortunately, that Milo dies. See, Life is Full of Phantoms viewers are pretty used to having really sad deaths. I mean, aside from Scarletta, a villain has never died. Only heroes or, like, good guys have died. So, That's depressive. But the reason I think Milo will die is because there's no way to continue developing his character. I mean, obviously he can't stay on Imagua after all that's happened to him. He won't be there forever, but I feel like it's kind of too late for him to go back to Ellipsity. I mean, yes, he's a good character now, but after all that's happened, plus him being a lab rat in season 3, look to Ellipsity's Instagram post about the synopsis if you want to learn more about that, but he's gonna be a lab rat, so I don't really know how he can have a happy ending. I mean, I trust that Ellipsity knows what he's doing, and I'm sure that if he does keep Milo alive, he will find a very good way to do it, but I personally don't see that happening right now. But if he dies, I'm confident that he will die in peace. I am sure that he will die with his heart full of love for all those who love him, including Tashiana, even though she was a terrible mother. So I think he'll die with love in his heart for E, Mila, and Tashiana, because those are 3 people who really love him. Now, his relationship with Ellipsity is pretty tight. I mean, aside from the fact that his memories of E are going to be like deleted and tested on, he pretty much already loves E. But with Mila, it's a little bit different. I'm pretty sure they would have to be pretty close when they were kids, because they did grow up together and they did have to stick together to avoid their mother's wrath. But Milo probably slightly detested Mila just because she got everything good. Like, Tashiana still technically favored Mila and didn't tell her that she was worthless. I mean, she did, but she still, like, used her for stuff. Mila still had a sense of purpose the way she was, even if it was a bad purpose. So when they reunite, it may not be so harmonious at the beginning, but I do think that Milo and Mila will make up after everything she's done and will probably continue to do to save him. As for Tashiana, I don't really know how he will love her, but he will. Because I don't really think he'll die as a lab rat. I mean, he probably will, but not in the lab. I think he'll probably die after he's left the lab and probably seen his mother or heard something about how she's good or something. I don't know, but he will die in peace. That's what I know. He will die in peace. Anyway, I guess that wraps it up. I mean, I don't really know what else I can say, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my continuous voice cracks, if you haven't noticed that. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna go now. Don't forget to like, comment, and sub, and of course, stay clawsome, possum, and fantastic. I'll see you all next week.